How? If my ex-wife is destroying my name and I can't work.
Today, we're diving headfirst into the interviews that sent A-listers spiraling, where a single comment nuked entire careers faster than you can say no comment. From shocking confessions to cringeworthy overconfidence, these are the moments that made publicists cry and Twitter explode. Joaquin Phoenix. Rewind to 2009, a time when Joaquin Phoenix, now a Hollywood legend and multiple Oscar winner, was on a career path so bizarre, even his biggest fans were asking, you good, bro? It all peaked with his infamous appearance on The Late Show with David Letterman. Sporting dark sunglasses, a wild mountain man beard, and the general aura of a guy who had just emerged from a survivalist bunker, Phoenix mumbled his way through an interview so painfully awkward that Letterman, never one to miss a punchline, quipped, "Can you tell us about your days with the Unabomber?" The audience roared. Hollywood? Not so much. Within hours, speculation ran wild. Had Phoenix lost it? Was this a career implosion in real time? Studio execs suddenly treated him like a ticking time bomb, and industry doors began slamming shut. But plot twist. It was all an elaborate act for I'm Still Here, a mockumentary so committed to the bit that it nearly destroyed his reputation. Turns out, Hollywood prefers its actors unhinged on screen, not in talk show chairs. The damage was real, but so was Phoenix's talent. And like only the greats can, he roared back with her and Joker, proving he wasn't just back, he was untouchable. Even Letterman, when Phoenix finally returned to his show, couldn't resist a cheeky callback. We can't wait to see you again. And honestly, neither can the rest of the world. Belle Gibson. In 2013, Belle Gibson was the it girl of the wellness world. Think green smoothies, mindfulness, and the kind of glow that made people believe kale was a life force. Her mobile app, The Whole Pantry, was a smash hit. Her cookbooks flew off the shelves, and she wasn't just selling recipes, she was selling hope. Why? Because she claimed to have beaten cancer naturally through clean eating and holistic living. Fans weren't just inspired, they were obsessed. But by 2015, the avocado toast started to crumble. Questions arose, receipts were checked, and, plot twist, Gibson never had cancer, not even a little. Worse, the charity donations she had promised, they never arrived. Under mounting pressure, she admitted to Australian Women's Weekly that she had made the whole thing up, blaming her troubled childhood. If she was expecting sympathy, she miscalculated. Her empire collapsed faster than a failed detox. By 2017, she was hit with a $410,000 fine for fraud. But the real kicker? When asked why she didn't realize she wasn't sick, her response was peak delusion. I wasn't getting any signals from my body. From wellness guru to cautionary tale, Belle Gibson proved one thing. No matter how many layers of organic farm-to-table deception you pile on, the truth always finds a way out. Alex Pettyfer. In 2011, Alex Pettyfer was on the brink of Hollywood stardom. I am number 4, Stormbreaker, a face that looked genetically engineered for movie posters. But instead of riding the wave of his rising career, he decided to belly flop right into controversy with an interview so disastrous, it made his roles look like cameos. During a sit-down with V Man, Pettyfer didn't just burn bridges, he torched the entire city. He called Los Angeles a swimming pool of social scum and disgust, which, you know, isn't exactly what producers want to hear from their next leading man. But he didn't stop there. He took shots at women in Hollywood, compared his acting career to prison, and delivered enough scathing commentary to make his PR team consider early retirement. Naturally, the headlines exploded, and just like that, Pettyfer's public image went from next big thing to persona non grata. As if that wasn't enough, rumors swirled that he was difficult to work with on set. because apparently bad press wasn't enough. He wanted the full cancellation package. Hollywood quickly got the memo, and blockbuster projects stopped calling. Moral of the story? If you're in the cutthroat world of showbiz, maybe don't use your press tour as an opportunity to roast the industry that writes your paychecks. Just a thought. Tom Cruise. In 2005, Tom Cruise entered what can only be described as his "what is he doing?" era, a year so chaotic it probably has its own therapy bill. It all started with that moment on the Oprah Winfrey Show, when Cruise, in a burst of inexplicable enthusiasm, jumped on her couch. Not metaphorically, literally. One minute he was gushing about Katie Holmes, the next, he was bouncing like a kid who just discovered sugar. The clip went viral before viral was even a thing, and suddenly, America wasn't sure if they were watching a rom-com lead or a man having an existential crisis in real time. But Tom wasn't done. Oh no. He then took a public swipe at Brooke Shields for using antidepressants to treat postpartum depression, because apparently Dr. Cruise had entered the chat. When he doubled down in a heated exchange with Matt Lauer on the Today Show, lecturing the host about psychiatry with a condescending smirk, audiences collectively cringed. Hollywood noticed, and not in a good way. By 2006, Paramount Pictures, his studio partner of 14 years, said, "We're good, thanks," and even Steven Spielberg, who had just worked with him on War of the Worlds, publicly distanced himself. For the first time, Tom Cruise's Hollywood future looked shaky. But here's the thing about Tom. He doesn't do career slumps. He put his head down, leaned into what he does best, running at full speed in every movie possible, and slowly rebuilt his public image. Mission Impossible became a juggernaut, and by 2023, even Spielberg was back in his corner, praising him for saving Hollywood with Top Gun Maverick. The lesson? Time heals, blockbusters help, and maybe, just maybe, leave the psychiatry takes to the professionals. Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan, television's human lightning rod, has never been one to shy away from controversy. But even for him, 2014 was a rough year. His CNN stint ended not with a bang, but with an awkward, career-tanking thud. Sure, ratings were slipping, but the final nail? A cringeworthy showdown with comedian Chelsea Handler. Mid-interview, Handler snapped, "I mean, you can't even pay attention for 60 seconds." Morgan, in classic form, shot back, blaming her for not being interesting. Handler wasn't having it. "This is your show. You have to pay attention to your guest." The moment went viral, and just like that, Morgan was out at CNN, proving once again that maybe, just maybe, insulting your guests isn't the best broadcasting strategy. But Piers is nothing if not persistent. Back in the UK, he landed a gig hosting Good Morning Britain, where he once again made headlines, mostly for storming out of them. In 2021, after Meghan Markle's bombshell interview with Oprah, Morgan called her a liar on air, dismissing her claims about mental health. Colleague Alex Beresford fired back, and in a dramatic "I quit before you fire me" move, Morgan stormed off set. The clip instantly became meme material, and soon after, he was out of Good Morning Britain, too. Since then, Morgan has been in a constant battle to reclaim his place in television, but his unapologetic attitude and talent for always picking the loudest fight in the room have kept him a magnet for backlash. His career remains a case study in what happens when controversy stops being entertaining and just starts being exhausting. If you enjoyed this video, drop a 1 in the comments, and if not, let me know with a 0. I appreciate your feedback. Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson, Hollywood's go-to-tough guy, the "I will find you and I will kill you" legend, found himself in a real-life crisis that not even his Taken character could escape. In 2019, while promoting a film, Neeson casually, way too casually, dropped a jaw-dropping confession decades ago after learning that a close friend had been sexually assaulted by a black man. He roamed the streets, looking to start a fight with any black person in a misguided attempt at vengeance. He admitted he quickly realized the sheer insanity of his thinking, felt ashamed, and changed his ways. But the damage was already done. Social media exploded. Critics labeled him a racist. Others, including Trevor Noah and Whoopi Goldberg, defended him, arguing that acknowledging a past racist mindset and showing remorse should be seen as growth, not condemnation. But Hollywood is not the forgiving dad from Taken. They have a long memory, and this revelation stained Neeson's carefully crafted action hero persona. While his career didn't completely crash, his once untouchable reputation took a brutal hit. The stoic, morally upright Avenger image cracked. His standing in an increasingly diverse Hollywood complicated. To his credit, Neeson has tried to be open and vulnerable, an admirable move for a star of his stature. But if his experience proved anything, it's that honesty isn't always a get-out-of-jail-free card, especially when it involves race, history, and deep-seated social wounds. John Mayer, once the golden boy of soulful guitar ballads and that guy every girl in the 2000s had on their playlist, managed to derail his own career in 2010 with an interview so catastrophically bad it still makes people wince. Sitting down with Playboy, Mayer tried way too hard to be edgy and provocative. Instead, he ended up dropping insensitive comments about his past relationships with Jessica Simpson and Jennifer Aniston, making racist slurs, and delivering the career-killing moment, comparing his private parts to white supremacist David Duke. Because apparently self-sabotage was the theme of the day. The fallout was instant and brutal. Fans, furious, the industry, stunned, social media, scorched earth. Mayer scrambled to apologize, posting heartfelt regrets online and giving remorseful interviews, but the damage was already done. His reputation took a nosedive, and so did his chart success. Since 2010, he hasn't landed a single in the Billboard Top 25, and not even his duet with Taylor Swift, Half of My Heart, could fully revive his career. The lesson here? When you've got Grammy-winning talent, maybe don't try to be a shock jock in a Playboy interview, because in Hollywood, words can be more lethal than any guitar riff, and bad PR lasts a lot longer than a catchy chorus. Chris Harrison. Chris Harrison, once the unshakable Bachelor franchise king, the man who could turn ladies, This Is the Final Rose Tonight into primetime drama, watched his 19-year career unravel in real time in 2021. And it all happened in one interview. Sitting down with former Bachelorette Rachel Lindsay on Extra, Harrison attempted to defend Bachelor contestant Rachel Kirkconnell after old photos surfaced of her attending a plantation-themed college party and engaging with racially insensitive social media posts. Instead of acknowledging the obvious, yikes, he downplayed the controversy, arguing that it wasn't a big deal in 2018 and dismissing the growing criticism as part of woke culture. Spoiler, not the best move. The backlash was instant and brutal. Fans were outraged, celebrities spoke out, and Rachel Lindsay, visibly frustrated, eventually stepped away from the franchise altogether. Just a few months later, so did Harrison, only his departure wasn't voluntary. ABC cut ties, replacing him as host and effectively ending his tenure as The Bachelor's most recognizable face. While the show moved on, Harrison's career in television took a massive hit, proving that in today's world, defending outdated, problematic behavior isn't just bad PR. It's a career killer. Paula Deen. Paula Deen, once the undisputed queen of Southern comfort food, the woman who made butter a lifestyle, saw her empire crumble in 2013 when a lawsuit exposed a past that did not age well. Among the shocking revelations, she had used racial slurs and even entertained the idea of a plantation-themed wedding, because apparently historical awareness wasn't on the menu. As the backlash mounted, Dean tried to contain the damage with an emotional appearance on The Today Show. But instead of delivering a heartfelt apology, she took a different approach, playing the victim. She criticized those who had never made mistakes, bold strategy, mentioned an apology video instead of actually apologizing, and generally failed to convince anyone she truly understood the gravity of the situation. The public wasn't buying it, and neither were corporations. Major brands like Walmart, Target, and the Food Network dropped her faster than a hot biscuit. The result? A once-beloved culinary icon faded into obscurity, her career cooked beyond repair. The lesson? If you're going to apologize, mean it. Because in today's world, a half-baked attempt at damage control will only burn your reputation to a crisp. Michael Jackson? In 2003, Michael Jackson, the king of pop, the moonwalking enigma, the global superstar, sat down for what was supposed to be a revealing documentary with Martin Bashir. Living with Michael Jackson was meant to offer fans a rare glimpse into his world. Instead, it unleashed a media firestorm so intense it made Thriller look like a bedtime story. Jackson opened up about his troubled childhood, detailing the harsh treatment he endured from his father. But it wasn't that part of the interview that sent shockwaves through the public. The real controversy came when he openly admitted to allowing children to sleep in his bedroom, insisting there was nothing inappropriate about it. When asked if he understood why people might find this concerning, he dismissed the backlash as their ignorance. Cue instant outrage. The interview became the catalyst for his infamous 2004-2005 trial, where he faced serious criminal charges. Though he was acquitted, the damage to his reputation was beyond repair. The fallout wasn't just public scrutiny. His finances took a brutal hit, and the shadow of controversy followed him until his passing in 2009. If there's a takeaway from Jackson's story, it's this: sometimes oversharing doesn't lead to understanding. It just leads to more questions. And in his case, those questions never stopped coming. Lance Armstrong. Lance Armstrong's 2013 sit-down with Oprah Winfrey wasn't just an interview, it was a public execution of his once unbreakable legacy. For years, Armstrong had been the symbol of strength, resilience, and superhuman endurance. The guy beat cancer, dominated 7 Tour de France titles, and made Livestrong bracelets the hottest accessory of the 2000s. But behind the inspiring narrative was a very different reality, one fueled by a sophisticated doping operation that he had spent years denying. Then came Oprah, with one simple, world-stopping question: did you ever use banned substances? Armstrong's empire crumbled in real time. His answer, a flat yes. And just like that, the sporting hero became the cautionary tale. He admitted to doping throughout his cycling career, but insisted he never forced teammates to do the same or bribed officials, which, for the record, nobody really believed. The fallout was instant. Nike and other sponsors dropped him like a bad stock. His 7 Tour de France titles were stripped, and his name became synonymous with cheating. From hero to pariah, Armstrong never truly recovered. His interview with Oprah remains one of the most infamous confessions in sports history, proving that in the court of public opinion, the truth may set you free, but it won't get you your endorsements back. Billy Bush? In 2005, Billy Bush was just another upbeat TV host, best known for celebrity interviews and Access Hollywood banter. But in 2016, an off-the-record conversation from over a decade earlier resurfaced and obliterated his career overnight. And the worst part? It wasn't even an interview. In the now infamous hot mic moment, Bush and Donald Trump, unaware their mics were still on, engaged in a conversation that would go down as one of the most scandalous in television history. The tape captured Trump bragging about grabbing and kissing women without consent, dropping the now legendary line, "When you're a star, they let you do it." Bush, instead of shutting it down, laughed along, hyped up Trump's comments, and even joined in objectifying Days of Our Lives actress Ariane Zucker, completely oblivious to the career-killing time bomb he was standing on. When the tape leaked in 2016, the backlash was nuclear. Bush was immediately suspended from the Today Show, and within days, NBC showed him the door. While Trump walked straight into the White House, Bush walked straight into unemployment. In later interviews, he admitted his mistake, saying, "I understand the reaction, I agree. I felt the same way, but the damage was irreversible." The lesson? Always assume the mic is on, because in the world of media, one unguarded moment can erase years of work. And in Billy Bush's case, it only took a few seconds of nervous laughter to end an entire career. "5 seconds of summer. When Rolling Stone calls, you answer. Because for a band, it's the moment to prove you've made it. In 2015, Australian pop-punk group 5 Seconds of Summer got their shot, but instead of playing it cool, they went full rock star meltdown mode. What should have been their big break turned into an ego-fueled PR disaster. First, they compared themselves to the Beatles, because obviously when you've been around for a couple of years, why wouldn't you put yourself in the same league as music's greatest legends? Then, they took shots at everything. The American Music Awards, Justin Bieber, and in a truly mind-boggling move, their own fans. Yep, the same die-hard female fan base that had propelled them to success got caught in the crossfire. And just to top it all off, they went nude on the cover. Because apparently nothing says serious rock stars like barely showing the world. Instead of looking rebellious, they came off as arrogant and detached, a far cry from the relatable, goofy guys their fans had fallen in love with. What was meant to be a statement of their rock and roll edge ended up making them seem more interested in self-promotion than actual connection. The lesson? When you're climbing to the top, maybe don't alienate the people who put you there. Paula Abdul. In 2007, Paula Abdul sat down for what was supposed to be a routine American Idol promo interview. Instead, she delivered one of the most bizarre TV moments of the decade. What should have been a standard chat quickly turned into a giggle-filled slow-motion train wreck, complete with long pauses, erratic responses, and a general vibe that made viewers wonder if Paula had pre-gamed a little too hard before going on air. Speculation spread like wildfire. Had she been drinking? Was she on something stronger? Paula vehemently denied it, insisting that she was simply tired. But the damage was done. Then, as if the moment wasn't chaotic enough, she threw in a completely out-of-nowhere comment about Seattle being full of the most delusional people. The quote went instantly viral, cementing its place in awkward interview history. Just 2 years later, after a pay dispute, Paula left American Idol and took a step back from the spotlight. But thanks to that unforgettable interview, she'll always be remembered for more than just her judging career. Because in Hollywood, sometimes it's not your greatest achievements that define you. It's the moments that make people say, "What did I just watch?" The Chainsmokers. In the music industry, flaunting a rebellious edge can be a power move. But for the Chainsmokers, their attempt at rock star swagger in a 2016 Billboard interview turned into a PR disaster. At the peak of their career, riding high on chart-topping hits, the duo decided to showcase their wild side. Instead of sounding cool, they came off as, well, kind of jerks. With zero hesitation, they bragged about their party-hard lifestyle and casual relationships, all while both had actual girlfriends. The public wasn't impressed. Fans who once saw them as chill, relatable guys suddenly viewed them as walking red flags. Critics slammed them for being thoughtless, disrespectful to women, and painfully out of touch. The backlash was instant and brutal. When confronted, they tried to laugh it off, insisting they were just regular guys who love life, women, and everything that comes with it. Spoiler, that explanation made things worse. Instead of looking like free-spirited artists, they came off as cliché frat bros who peaked at a college house party. Instead of boosting their cool factor, their words became Exhibit A in the case of why you should think before you speak. We truly appreciate you for sticking around and watching our video. Leave a 2 in the comments to let me know you are still here with us. Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew's 2019 sit-down with the BBC's Emily Maitlis was supposed to clear his name. Instead, it went down as one of the most spectacularly disastrous interviews in royal history. The goal? Address his ties to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The result? A cringe fest so bad it made people wonder if his PR team had secretly been working against him. From the start, Andrew's responses were mind-bogglingly tone-deaf. When confronted with a photograph of himself alongside accuser Virginia Roberts, he flat-out denied ever meeting her, because apparently, in his world, photographic evidence doesn't count. When asked about his friendship with Epstein, rather than showing an ounce of remorse, he actually defended it, calling it useful for his career. But the real highlight? His medical excuse for why he couldn't have been sweating at a nightclub with Roberts, because he physically couldn't sweat. Public reaction was immediate and brutal. Sympathy turned into widespread outrage, and within days Prince Andrew was forced to step down from royal duties. His reputation? Beyond repair. What should have been damage control turned into a full-scale implosion, proving that sometimes it's better to say nothing at all than to talk yourself into a historical PR catastrophe. Katherine Heigl. Katherine Heigl was once Hollywood's golden girl, the rom-com queen, the Grey's Anatomy darling, the actress poised to take over the industry. But then came the interview. In 2008, while riding high off the success of Knocked Up, Heigl sat down with Vanity Fair and torched the very film that made her a movie star, calling it sexist and criticizing its portrayal of women. The problem? She read the script, signed the contract, and cashed the check, so publicly dragging it after the fact made her look less like a feminist icon and more like an ungrateful diva. The backlash was swift. Fans and industry insiders were not impressed, but Heigl wasn't done. The following year, she starred in The Ugly Truth, a film with arguably worse gender dynamics, and somehow didn't have a problem with that paycheck. The contradiction, combined with reports that she was difficult on set, sealed her reputation as Hollywood's most unapproachable actress. Soon, directors and producers weren't just hesitant to work with her, they were actively avoiding her. Her career, once on a rocket-fueled trajectory, stalled hard. The lesson? If you're going to call out sexism in Hollywood, maybe don't do it only when it's convenient. Because in an industry that thrives on reputation, burning bridges can leave you stranded. Megan Fox. Megan Fox was Hollywood's it girl in the late 2000s. Transformers catapulted her to global stardom, and she was everywhere. But then came the 2009 Wonderland magazine interview, where she made a bold, red, career-ending move, comparing director Michael Bay to Adolf Hitler. Now, Bay's reputation for being a tough, no-nonsense director wasn't exactly a secret, but dropping the H-bomb? Not the best choice of words. The backlash was instant. Bay himself wasn't even the one who pushed for her exit. Executive producer Steven Spielberg reportedly made the call, and just like that, Fox was out of the Transformers franchise. The impact was brutal. At the time, Fox was one of the most sought-after actresses in Hollywood, but after getting axed, her career momentum stalled hard. while she later reunited with Bay as a producer on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it was clear that she had lost the industry's golden ticket. Big roles became rare, and over the years, she slowly faded from the spotlight. Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen has never been one to shy away from controversy, but in 2015, he shocked the world not with another drug-fueled rant or Hollywood meltdown, but with a deeply personal revelation. Sitting down for a tense, highly publicized interview on The Today Show, Sheen confirmed that he was HIV positive, a diagnosis he had kept secret for 4 years. For a moment, the world saw a different side of Sheen, calm, composed, and genuinely vulnerable. But the confession didn't come without backlash. Many questioned why he had stayed silent for so long and whether his secrecy had put his partners at risk. When asked directly if he had unprotected sex after his diagnosis, Sheen admitted that he had, but insisted his partners were fully informed and had received medical care. Some saw this as a moment of accountability, proof that Sheen was trying to turn a new leaf. Others weren't so forgiving, arguing that the interview only reinforced his long-standing image as reckless and irresponsible. In the end, the interview was more than just a health disclosure. It was a reminder of Sheen's turbulent career, one that had swung between astronomical highs and jaw-dropping lows. Once the highest-paid actor on TV, now forever associated with scandal, Sheen's legacy remains a wild ride, one that no amount of tiger blood can rewrite. R. Kelly. R. Kelly's infamous early 2000s interview was supposed to be an opportunity to clear his name. Instead, it became one of the most painfully awkward moments in media history and a career-destroying disaster in real time. By 2002, accusations were swirling, and though Kelly was acquitted in 2008, the damage to his reputation was far from erased. But nothing prepared the world for his bizarre response when asked about his alleged involvement with underage girls. Instead of shutting down the speculation immediately, Kelly hesitated and mumbled the now infamous line, "Teenagers? What are we talking about?" Cue instant disbelief. The awkward pause, the nervous energy, and the sheer absurdity of his response made an already bad situation 10 times worse. From that moment on, Kelly's career spiraled. What could have been a chance at redemption turned into an unforgettable PR disaster, fueling public suspicion and permanently tarnishing his image. He went from music icon to public enemy, proving that sometimes an awkward silence would have been a much better choice. If you enjoyed this video, drop a comment and share your thoughts. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss out on more exciting content.